Hi, so I am Dia and you're watching Dinosaur, and today we are going to do a wrap up. So let's do the intro now. So, hi, this is the beginning of March, and today I'm bringing you my February wrap up. So, in the month of February, this year, in the beginning, I was in a really bad slump, and I started reading actually in February. So, the first book that I read in February that actually broke my slump, and after my slump broke, I read around 6 or 7 books. Yeah, around 6 or 7 books. Like, let's see, I kind of don't remember anything what I read in February. I just got the books that I have. You can't see them actually, I think. Like, you can see these are the physical books that I read, and there were a couple that were ebooks. So, let's get on with it. So, the first book that I read in the month of February, shoot, I left it upstairs. Anyway, I will have it on the screen over here. That is the Kiss Quotient, and that was the book that broke the slump. So, the Kiss Quotient is about this woman called Stella, and she is on the spectrum, high functioning autism, and she sucks at like dating and sex and all that aspect, the relationship aspect of her life. And her mom is like, I am ready to have grandchildren now, like why don't you get married and all that stuff. And Stella is like, shit, like what am I going to do now? And she hires a male escort to help her teach how to like be good at sex, and how not to cringe every time someone touches you or something like that. And you know what happens in these kind of stories, they fall in love. So yeah, that was a story. It was nothing like world changing or life altering or any sort of book, but it was a fun read. It kept me engaged enough so that I felt like picking up the book after my long day or something like that. And it kept me like motivated enough to flip the pages, and I sort of flew through it. And the ending was a little bit cheesy and kind of weird. Like, the thing is with these romance books, I find that the beginning is really good, but the ending, not everyone can stick it, so here also the ending was a little cheesy, I would say. Things didn't kind of make much sense and all that. And yeah, I overall I rated the book 3 stars. And yeah, I mean, it was a fun, enjoyable book, and the representation of autism, it was done in a sensitive way. It is an own voices book, so yeah, obviously it will be done in a sensitive way. So I like I found Stella very like relatable and adorable and all that stuff. Michael, on the other hand, he was a bit too like the like he is like a cardboard cutout of a person. He's just hot, and he has a sensitive side. That's it, that's all we get about him. So that was the Kiss Quotient. And the next book that I read was this one, The Beautiful. And I mean, I sort of kind of DNF'd the book, and the last 100 pages, I first of all looked up a spoilery summary, and then I skimmed through the last few pages. So I like technically I finished this book, but it was like a quasi DNF or something like that. So this book is about 1800s New Orleans, and there are paranormal creatures like vampires and all that stuff. And this girl, she is coming from France to, like, she is uh, like something happened, to her in France, and she is escaping that life and coming to New Orleans in search for, a better life. And here she gets embroiled into this, this secret society, and the head of the secret society, like she kind of, like starts having feelings for the person, and she feels attracted towards him and all that. And while all this is happening, um, people start dying like mysteriously, like their throat being torn off and all that horrific things. So the police, they start investigating, and the secret society, and this girl, I forgot her name, like Alice or something. No, okay, let's wait, let me see. Celine, yeah. Celine, she gets embroiled into the, the investigation and all that. And this book, I would say, I mean, to be honest, I don't remember much about this book. I remember having a good time. Like, it was, again, it was not, like earth shattering, world altering, life changing kind of a book. It was just this guilty pleasure book about, 1800s New Orleans, the flash, the glitzy lifestyle and all that stuff, and this girl from the outside looking in, and she is kind of falling in love for the first time and all that. So what I was okay so people what I read in the reviews before I picked up the book was that they thought that there was less of the vampire stuff and more of the romance stuff. So I went into expecting that there will be, like this, like steamy romance or something like that. But for me, it was the opposite. Like, it was, day to day life and all that stuff was there a lot. But the romance, it was very little. Like, I like the romance, but the one that we got in the book, it's like more like, like thinking about him and thinking that, oh my god, like he's not good for me, and like that kind of stuff. So it's more like pining and less of an actual romance. And sometimes I like the, the pining, the angst and all of that. But in this book, I didn't really enjoy it. And the mystery, I mean, I am a sucker for mysteries, but in this book the mystery was not done properly. And the police, the way, I mean, the dialogues were very cheesy, and like it was giving me secondhand embarrassment. The police officer, like, there was insta love all over the place. And the police chief was also, very young and hot, and he for some reason found Celine very attractive and amazing. And everyone was like, you're not like other girls. Like, other girls, they are like, they are, I mean, delicate and all that stuff, but you are you seek out danger and all that kind of stuff. So that, I mean, there were, tiny things that kind of became like, it snowballed into something huge. And at the end, I was like, I can't do this anymore. I need to look up spoilers. So maybe it was like me being in the slump that might have also caused this thing to happen. Or it was just, not that great of a book. I don't like saying, like this is not a good book, because I mean, taste in books, that is very subjective. Like, sometimes I will like a book and that everyone will ban, and sometimes I will hate a book that everyone likes. So, like, you can't just call something bad just because you didn't like it. So yeah, I mean, I had a fun time. Thing is, I actually rated the book. Like, I was like, I'm gonna rate it because I read almost the entire book. So I rated it 3 stars, and 3 stars is not a bad rating, you guys. Like, it's not bad. So the next book that I read was To Kill a Kingdom. I hope you guys can see the books. In the last video that I did, I was holding up the books and half of the book it was going out of frame. So I hope in this one you guys can see the book. So To Kill a Kingdom, I started this book last year. Like, I started reading this book last year, and I had temporarily DNF'd the book. So this is what I do. Like, I will go into a book with really hyped up and excited and all that, and then I'll be like, yeah, no, like, this is not working for me. I'll put it down and I'll forget about it for a while, in this case 1 year. And then I'll pick it up and I'll read it and I'll be like, okay, like, I actually like this book, so why did I put it down for the first time? So this book is a retelling of Little Mermaid, and here we don't have mermaids, we have sirens in this book, and they kill people and take out their heart. And there's this prince who is like kind of kills all these sirens, like on a mission to kill all the sirens so that the seas will be safer for people to travel. And this is a romance between the princess of the sirens and this prince. So it's a hate to love romance, and it's done quite good. Like, I don't remember what I rated this book. I think 3 or 3.5 stars. Like, it's not a bad book. It's not very well written, but it's written like quite well. Okay, you might see my mom in the frame or something like that. Anyway, so this is, okay, let me put it down, my hands will be aching otherwise. So this book, I don't know, I remember reading it but not feeling that tension. Like, there was not much tension in the book, like, what is going to happen. I need to know, I need to find out, I need to turn the pages to know what is going to happen next. Like, it was kind of predictable, and it was kind of a very linear storyline. Like, you set out from point A and you want to go to point B, and you go from point A to point B. There is no like twist, or there is no there is nothing interesting in the narrative structure or anything like that. It's a very straightforward story, and if you're in the mood for something like that, you will like it. I thought I was in the mood for something like that, but I didn't really, like, it was too simple for me. Like, there was nothing much that was capturing my attention. The romance was good, it was not bad. The fantasy elements were like, okay, but the villain was kind of cartoonishly villainish, and the guy is like, oh, like, I'm so edgy, I'm so dark, like, I'm not like other princess. And yeah, he was just a regular teenager with the not like other teenagers complex. So anyway, I finished the book. I kind of skimmed through it, to be honest, and all I can say is that I finished the book, and it was not a bad read per se. Like, if you're in the mood for something light and fluffy and something with an enemies to lovers trope, you might like this book. Okay, so far I've realized that I haven't really sold you guys on any of the books that I've read. Like, I've been like, this is okay. If you're in the mood for something like this, you will like this, but if you're not in the mood for something like this, you won't like this. Like, I'm just realizing how bad I am at selling people books. Like, I can't say for sure like, oh my god, you need to read this, but that also might be because of the books that I picked up. So the next book that I picked up, okay, is this the right order? I think so. Is this one, Crescent City, The House of Earth and Blood. I DNF'd this book, like 200 pages into it, I DNF'd. Like, it was not like, at first I didn't like the writing, I didn't like the characters, and then when I started liking the writing and the characters, uh, there was so much, what do you call it, like info dumping, like you were like constantly bombarded with stuff about the world, and I was like, okay, I need to care about this world, and then I can care about the stuff that you're throwing at me. So 200 pages, and I was like, if I keep continuing with this book, this is gonna be a 3 stars book for me. And if it had been a 300, 400, or even 500 page book, I would have been okay with it. But it's 800 pages, and I'm like, I don't want to read something mediocre for 800 pages. So I was like, let's like just DNF the book, and let's look up a spoilery summary. So I looked up the spoilery summary, and I was like, I'm glad I DNF'd the book, because I didn't I mean, the way the direction the book went, I was like, okay, like I don't care, like so for example, some people were killed in the beginning of the book, and they were trying to find out what happened. And suddenly this girl, like the main character, she is not a detective, like she works with this curio shop owner or something like that, and she is suddenly like this mastermind detective, and she is like like, oh, I can do this, I did that, so that this person will fall into this trap and they will tell me this thing. And like, I was like, dude, like how like, you have no idea about all these things, and suddenly you are this mastermind detective, like how? So the way like, also there was this secret thing that kind of, there was this, like, what is it called, deus ex machina, like there was this aspect of this into the story also. So I was like, okay, nope, like I am not gonna read this book, and I'm glad I didn't read the book. So yeah, the next thing that I read is this one, Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. So this book, oh my god, this book blew my mind. Like, I rated this book 5 stars, and I know, like, I am really late to the game, because in 2019 I think it was released, and everyone was like raving about this book. And at that point I was like, I mean, it might be overrated or something like that. That's what I thought. But it's not, like, it's not overrated at all. It is like really good, because the only thing that I didn't like, I'm coming to that. So this is about this lady gets the opportunity to interview a very famous actress, and she was famous for having 7 husbands. So and she was very reclusive, and she didn't go for interviews or anything like that in her entire life. But now, like, she is ready for an interview, like a tell all, like she is gonna tell people about her entire life and all that. So it's like a very rare opportunity for this woman. And the actress, she requests that this particular woman, this journalist, will be sent to her and no one else. And so there's this kind of, there are sort of two mysteries as to like, who was the actual love of her life, actual love of Evelyn's life, and what is the connection between Monique is the journalist, and Evelyn. So that's where the book starts off. And you see, like, how, I mean, I won't be able to do the book justice by talking about it. You need to read it, and that's how you'll get to know how impactful the book is. I mean, the way Evelyn had to, like, fight for everything in her life, and the way she had to, weaponize her sexuality, the one that was used to objectify her, she learned how to use it as a weapon, how to wield it as a weapon. And she was always, like dismissed as, someone who was just hot and not with any talent, but she really did have talent. Like, she won an Oscar, and she really did some amazing movies in her life. And the way, like she was treated by people in her life, that is so unjust, unfair, and so moving. So I mean, I remember I did a vlog of this one, and I remember saying that, like, I I mean, there was this line, like, suddenly, something had happened and she was happy, and then she had this line called, which said, and then this thing started happening, and I was like, oh my god, like, I lost my shit over there, because it was the way it was written, the writing itself is simple, minimalistic, but it is impactful. Like, it will make you cry. I cried, I think, 2-3 times while reading the book. And after that, I read this book, The Love Hypothesis by Ali Hazelwood. And oh my god, this book, I had okay, I rated the book 4 stars. And I mean, I'm not denying the fact that it had, its flaws and all that stuff, but the romance was so cute, like, it was so fun to read about. And so the thing is, this story is about a girl who is a grad student at Stanford, and she starts kind of fake dating a professor in the same department, not her guide, but a different person, a different professor. And so yeah, she, like, how the, fake dating thing turns into a real thing, that's what the story is about. And there were moments that were, like, really cringy, that were really cheesy, that were, like, not organic at all, that were, like, contrived to, like, this level. But, like, when that kind of passed, the romance that was there, it was so cute, and the banter was cute, and the main character, she was, like, I liked her, sense of humor. She also had that, not like other girls kind of a vibe going on about her, but I didn't mind that, because I really liked the sense of humor that the book had. And it's just, I mean, I don't know, I sort of clicked with the book. And I thought that, the conversation that it had about academia and all that, that was very well done. And the things that were said about PhD and all that, I felt like, that was, like, actually my thoughts being, printed on the book or something like that. And this book made me sad, this book made me happy. I didn't cry, but yeah, it made me sad for myself that, like, me, like, I wish I had this book when I was in academia, and it would have, like, hit differently if I had read it during that time. So I really like this book, and I don't see myself rereading it later on, but I might, like, I'll keep the copy, I won't unhaul the copy. And that says, a lot about how the book has been, how it has impacted me. So anyway, we come to the last book. Wait, what did I read last? I think I read, what do you call it? Array. I'm remembering the second name. Never Die. Yeah, Never Die by Rob J. Hayes. And I read the ebook for this one, and it will be somewhere over, like, here. Anyway, so it was this fantasy book that had this boy, young boy, who has the power to, like raise the dead heroes of his childhood story books, and he uses those dead heroes, like after he raises them, they are bound to him, and he wants to kill the king of the land, and that's how the story goes. And it was a very fun little book, and it was, like full of it was sort of like an anime or a video game in a book. And the entire time I was reading it, it had like fights and fun, jabs at other people, and like it was kind of like if the game Shadow Fight has been, like made into a book. It gave me those vibes, because, like each fighter, they had their own like distinct look and like power and everything like that. And the ending, I really like the ending. And so I won't say anything about it, because I feel like if you go into it blind, I gave it 4 stars. Did I say that already? I don't know. So if you go into it blindly, you will really like it. And just know that, like it is a plot driven story. The characters, I mean, I really got attached to a few characters, but that's just me. Like sometimes I will be reading a compelling character focused story, and I won't, connect with the character. I'll think that, oh my god, I want them to die or something like that. And sometimes I will read a plot driven story and I will be like, oh my god, like I just can't, these characters are the best, and like I can't do without them or something like that. So that's just me. But although it's a plot driven story, the characters, they are not very, like they don't go into the deep psyche of the characters, but still the way they're portrayed, like you will get attached to them and all that. So that's all I'm gonna say about this thing. So I think these are all the books I read in the month of February. And the thing is, I need to do better, keeping track of all the books that I read, because I mean, the fact that I had to, film this wrap up, it was giving me anxiety, because I don't like, like the thing is, I read some of these books like almost a month ago, and I have a really bad memory. So I forget about things, the important things that were like that I was supposed to say or something like that. So I feel that, like wrap ups are not the best way to, talk about a book. The best way to talk about a book is you read it, you vlog it, or you make a review video just like after you finish reading it. Like as soon as possible, you finish reading the book, you make the video, something like that. And now I understand why people are, so reluctant to film wrap-ups, and why they don't like doing wrap-ups. I like watching wrap-ups. Like that's my entire thing, like wrap-ups, TBRs, and all these like standard, booktube stuff. I like watching them. So that's it for today. Like, comment, subscribe, share, whatever, like if you feel like doing it. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one.